All right, so Draymond, you are such a...
Klay Thompson? Yup. Splash Brothers? Yup. Cavaliers? Nope. We won? Yup. They suck? Yup. We here? Yup. They not? Nope.
Thank you, Draymond. All right, Klay.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome back. This is the Echols Unlimited podcast. I'm your host, Terrence Echols, and today we're going to talk about my man Draymond Green. Is he the best player in the NBA?
Nope.
All right, no. In all seriousness, I'm going to talk a little bit about Draymond Green and the importance of having guys like him and his whole new media movement that he's starting and bringing to the sports landscape and sports media landscape. I think it's great. I think it's what we needed. I think he's calling out people who deserve and need to be called out. I think he's giving a valuable perspective on the game, and actually analyzing the game is what these guys are being paid to do. So I'm glad that he's doing it. And so I've got a few videos I got a few clips from his podcast that he released a couple weeks ago. We're going to look at it. We're going to talk about it. You're going to hear my commentary. So yeah, let's get right into it. All right. So we got the first video up here. I'm about to pull it up right now. Give me a second. All right, let's take a look.
And the reason being is because you have these experts that does all this talking, less analyzing, but a bunch of talking heads. And they just talk. But what about getting back to actually analyzing the game? What about, why is it so important to I know why it's important, actually. But all these hot takes, what about explaining the game of basketball and what's going on and, what it means and the games within the game and the advantages that one could get?
That video, so the main thing that I like to hear him say is that whatever happened to the game within the game, whatever happened to actually analyzing basketball, a bunch of guys who are just talking heads, and he's going to name names, and I've named names in the past, and it's honestly ridiculous at this point, because you have guys who probably have never played the game, probably have never really taken, I understand guys who may have never played the game at a high level can understand the game, but it's another thing to just be like a casual basketball fan and be able to think like that what you have to say about basketball and what you have to say about certain players in terms of speaking in hyperbole, in my opinion. So like anyone can have their opinion, anyone can say what they want. It's just I think too many casual basketball fans are speaking in hyperbole, and then that's becoming sort of the narrative around a certain player. Like people say Russell Westbrook is terrible. Okay, you show a few lowlights, you show a few things from last season. He shot a very poor percentage, but he averaged 18, 7, and 7 on a poor basketball team. So, I mean, you got guys who are saying like he's not a top 20 point guard, which, I would have to disagree, even though the point guard position is probably the deepest position in the NBA. But you have guys who say reckless and random things like that, and it's like, all right, you shouldn't be saying that. You have no there's no reason to speak like that about an NBA player. But yeah, let's get into this. Here's the next clip that I pulled from his show.
Back into these talking heads.
Talking heads.
Skip Bayless. No, I don't want to come on your show. No, I'm not going to come on your show and debate. But if you want to analyze the game of basketball and we come on there and we do that, I'd absolutely consider it. I'd consider it. I'll say I'm going to come, but I will consider it. But if you want to sit there and debate, I didn't go to law school, brother. Like, I don't want to come on your show and debate sports or debate anything else because I didn't go to law school. If I wanted to debate something, then I just, like, I would have went to law school and really did that, not try to make basketball that. Like, no, basketball is beautiful. Basketball, there's a lot to analyze in the game of basketball if you know the game. And I think that's a problem a bunch of you guys run into. You can't give analysis because you don't know the game. So you end up trying to, like, debate with somebody, and, like, that's whatever, teach his own. But, like, I don't want to sit there and debate with you on TV because, quite frankly, there's someone that's never watched your show. And they may be flicking through the channels and see me on your show. And because they've never watched the show and they flick through the channel and they see me on your show, they may mistakenly take me for the...
All right, yeah. So what Draymond is saying, he finally called out Skip Bayless, who deserves it at this point, because Skip Bayless has made it clear that he does not care about, players' feelings. He doesn't care about, fans' feelings. Like, it doesn't matter to him. All that matters is getting his ratings, getting his attention, saying whatever he can say to get people to pay attention to him. It's one thing after another with this guy. I don't understand the appeal of him because he is so negative, and I just don't believe that someone with a platform like that should be allowed to be so negative, especially about, star players and high quality players who have played in the league, most specifically LeBron James. We'll get into that in a little bit. But the fact that you got guys like Skip Bayless on there who go up there and with the sole purpose, and I guess that's the nature of the show. The nature of the show is to debate, which, to each his own, but I'm just not a fan of debate shows. I want to learn something when I watch. When I watch these debate shows, I realize these guys don't really know much. They're just talking. They just are looking to talk about topics that people will click on and that people will pay attention to them because they're debating. And a lot of times, a lot of negative things that get said, a lot of things that shouldn't be said about professional athletes, people who have families, people who have brothers, sisters, cousins, all this other stuff, husbands, wives. You're saying all this stuff about, these professional athletes for the sake of the debate and not really thinking about them as a person. And so I can't get behind any of these shows. I mean, I love Stephen A. I love Shannon Sharp. I love Nick Wright. I love all those guys who are up there, talking on these shows because I can respect their hustle and their grind and their ability to, make reporting news and talk about stuff entertaining. But I just don't, the fact that they debate everything is what makes me turn it off most of the time. I can only handle maybe 4 or 5 minutes of Stephen A, 4 or 5 minutes of Nick Wright, 4 or 5 minutes of Chris Broussard, some of those other guys. As much as I love them, I just can't, I can't deal with all the negativity that they talk about. All right, so next video we have.
And by the way, you come out talking about the new media. You're not the new media. You the real media. You are the real media. You're right. You've attached your name to a black man for all of these years. And that black man is none other than King James, LeBron James himself. And you tried to tear him down as much as you can all these years. So you're right. You are the real media. You are exactly who I speak of when I say this is the new media. We do this differently. You're right. I'm happy you admitted it, real media. But the new media is here to stay, and we taking this thing over. You know why? Because people don't want to hear that old, dried up, tired stuff that you talking about. Nobody want to hear that no more. The new media, baby. It's a reason J.J. Redick going on TV and crushing everybody. It's a reason they keep calling Patrick Beverly back to TV. It's a reason why C.J. McCollum just signed that deal. It's a reason why I signed the deal that I signed. It's a reason why this podcast, the Draymond Green Show, is doing the numbers that it's doing. It's a reason why. The new media. Don't nobody want to hear all that tired stuff you talking about anymore, Mr. Real. Stop attaching your name to LeBron James. Stop, because you know LeBron James and his incredible life that he's lived and continues to live, that there will always be something for you to talk about if I just attach my name to LeBron James. We don't want to hear it, brother. It's over. It's the new media. We're here to stay. So you keep talking that real media stuff. I'm happy you did. You showed your hand. You are exactly who I thought you were. Exactly who I thought you were. Kendrick Perkins, you...
All right, so he starts going in on Kendrick Perkins, and as much as I love Kendrick Perkins and some of the stuff he says, he went on JJ Redick's show and said some wild stuff about just the whole process that they have to go through as analysts. And probably the second most wild thing he said to me was he said that the producers over at ESPN on First Take were like, yeah, can you just argue that for this sake? And he's like, yeah, sure. I'm just going to argue it because that's the nature of, that's just the nature of the show. So he has to say something that he doesn't genuinely believe, that he doesn't genuinely care about. He has to talk about it on live TV. And it's a shame. It's a shame that the old media guys have to talk about stuff they don't care about, they don't believe in. And it's just it's all for numbers, all for ratings, all the other stuff. It's a shame, and I feel bad for a guy like Kendrick Perkins who's, new to this. He's just trying to get his foot into it. He's done a decent job so far, and, I don't hate on him like Draymond Green does. But the key quote that Draymond said about Skip Bayless, besides the fact that Skip Bayless has attached his name to a black man, LeBron James, I don't know why. You don't really have to bring the race card into this, but, he said it. Skip Bayless has attached his name to LeBron James, and everyone who dislikes LeBron James because for whatever reason, either and I guess a majority of reasons why you don't like that man is because his team beats their team. Like, I know a bunch of Boston Celtics fans who are in their feelings and always butthurt about him because he's tormented that franchise for probably the past 10 years. So, I mean, I don't blame them for that, but it's just the fact that Skip is relevant and is well known for being the one guy that is constantly thinking about taking every negative thing he could find about this guy LeBron James and tries to tear him apart and rip him to shreds and uses his platform for such a negative cause. It's terrible. I honestly, I don't respect that at all. I don't respect that method of communication, that method of journalism, whatever you want to call it. It's disgusting to talk about a man who has done, in the eyes of the public, LeBron James has been nothing but a solid role model. Yet Skip Bayless has taken his time every single morning to get up there on that counter and rip this man down. It really gets me heated to see that. And, it'll take people who to lift LeBron James up because, I mean, as great as he is, he has his flaws as a player. Talk about that. Okay, you can bring that up, but you don't have to just completely disrespect the man because he missed a free throw. You don't have to disrespect the man because he didn't, he did this, did that, had a turnover, whatever. Like, it's getting to the point where guys in the media are saying such disrespectful, terrible things about players that you start to realize like they don't look at them as like actual people with families, like I mentioned earlier. But it's a damn shame, and I hope Skip Bayless can change his ways. If not, get him off the air. I'm tired of watching him. Yeah, I mean, what Draymond says, he's like, we don't want to see it, brother. We really don't. I really don't like Skip Bayless. I really don't like guys who get up there and want to spew that negativity all on the be gone with him. I can't. I can't see an actual way to defend this guy. So no.
Great individual that JJ is, and most importantly, the new media. Why is that significant right now? Because the new media, we also protect guys. Like, we protect, this isn't about tearing you down. This isn't real Skip Bayless trying to tear you down. We don't do that. Now, we do critique. Something's off, we gonna talk about it. But we're not gonna just try to tear you. No, we're gonna try to help that. And so JJ, being the new media member that he is, then tries to give you an opportunity to walk it back. Like, you mean like...
Yeah, so they're talking about the whole Kendrick Perkins, talking about praying to God that LeBron James tore his ACL. You can't defend that. Honestly, that's inexcusable. I played sports my entire life. I just retired from the game of basketball. I've never done that. As much as like, I was like, probably like the worst thing you'll ever is like, if a guy tweaks an ankle during the game, you're like, oh man, maybe he should, sit down and rest his ankle for the rest of the game. Like something like that. Maybe like if he's killing you, if he's killing your team or something like that. But I would never ever pray that a man goes through a career altering injury. That's terrible. But anyways, the fact that Draymond talks about protecting guys. Okay, guys don't necessarily need protection. They just don't need to be torn down. So, I mean, that what he was saying in that clip was pretty self-explanatory. I don't want to go make this video too long, but just the fact that he, was talking about protecting guys, making sure that they aren't being torn down is very important, and why I support the new media over the real media. Next one.
What you mean? You have to explain it. Analyze it. Help us. Not just, don't just be these hot take guys, man. Explain what you're talking about. Be thorough. It's important. People are listening to y'all and think y'all actually know what you're talking about. It's important. You know why? Another reason it's important to make sure these guys act the way they should be acting, to carry themselves the way they should be carried. I was once suspended from Game 7 of the NBA Finals. I'm sorry.
All right. So, explain. Please explain what you're talking about. I think at bare minimum, if you're gonna be on a national TV show and talk about a sport, basketball, football, baseball, whatever. If you're gonna be on a national TV show, you're talking about basketball, you should know different ball screen coverages. You should know what different, sets and actions within a play are. You should know what a pin down is. You should know what pistol is, pistol action. You should know specific different little actions that happen within a basketball game. You should know that. You should know and be able to explain that stuff. We have too many guys just who watch the highlights of the game and just gloss over the top of what they're talking about. And then they just go to whatever else they can talk about that'll get headlines. I don't like it because I'm a basketball fan. I've enjoyed the game. I played the game. I love the game. So I like to learn things when I'm watching. And when you put these experts and these analysts and you give them that description, you give them that name, they should be an expert on the sport. They should be able to analyze it. Our senior NBA analysts, blah, 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 blah. And all they really do is stand half court and look for things to talk about, like sit at half court or stand on the side of the courts and look for different things, that are happening within the game that they can talk about in between timeouts. they don't really think about, okay, in this huddle, Doc Rivers was pointing out to Matisse Thybulle that he overextended on, say they were trapping a ball screen. He overextended and stayed too long on it. That's why, the guy was able to short roll and get open. You need to be able to pick up on those things and find those things. And I know I might be being a little bit too, I might be asking for too much. Because, at the end of the day, these guys are journalists. They are meant to find headlines that'll get people to click on stuff. So, I'm going to be reasonable and say, just talk about the game more. If you're going to, call yourself an analyst, if you're going to give yourself that title, if someone's going to give you that title, really, really try to learn the game and talk the game more. I think, too many times people just gloss over things and don't quite explain it. But yeah.
Wrong, brother. You got to stand on that. Those hot takes don't just get the roll off. See, that's what y'all accustomed to. I make these asinine statements, and then once I'm done, it's just over. No. You got to stand on that. Changing your opinion in the middle of the... No, brother. Stand on that. Stand on your word. It's important to stand on that. Not just flipping and flopping and all this and that. What do you stand for? I don't understand.
So, word of the day is stand on that. And I love that because it gives people the opportunity to, stand on their word and actually become accountable for what they say. A lot of these guys don't remain accountable for what they say. If they say something that, gets people upset, maybe they'll apologize after they see the aftermath. But in that moment, they need to understand that your actions, your words hold something. They hold weight to people. If you're given a platform, your words hold weight. So you have to be careful on what you say. You have to stand on what you say, just like Draymond Green says. So I love that. I love that sentiment. All right, so here's the last video. I think it talks a little bit about, physical violence. So yeah, let's check it out.
You're going to punch me in the mouth. And so it's just this whole thing of you saw Russ the other day, check Skip Bayless, Russell Westbrook. That man's name is Westbrook. That man has children. That man has a family. That's a family name. You're talking about Russell Westbrook. Again, people just run off talking and think they don't have to stand on that. You got to stand on them words, man. Your words mean something. You got to be willing to stand on that. And so that's my whole thing with the new media. Stand on that. Real media. But calling this man Westbrook, what? Who are you? So hopefully these guys will see this. They'll look at it, they'll go respond and say, I'm not doing that, Bob. But if you know what's good for you, you got to make the adjustment, man, because people tired of that old-ass tire stuff y'all giving. They sick of it. Yours truly.
The new media, that's what he goes on to say. Yeah. Skip Bayless is 60-something years old. Or damn near 60. I don't know how old he is. But he's old. He's on national TV calling a 30-something-year-old man a name. Just think about that. Think about the context that's in. He's on national TV calling a 30-something-year-old man a name that he has no problem with, that he has no personal altercation, personal beef with that I know of. He just doesn't like the way he's been playing this year. So he's going to call him a name. What? You don't know, bro. If you know somebody, okay, People joke with me. They call me names. I call them names. But those are my friends. That's not your friend. You're 25, 30 years, almost 30 years older than him. That's not your friend. You don't talk to him like that. It's disrespectful. It's terrible. And it's stuff like that you people will go and click on. People will go and click on that type of stuff because they want to see, what he call Russell today? What he call LeBron today? What he say about this? What he say about that? I want to hear the negative. What? People so focused on the negative, man. Life is too short to be paying attention to all the negative stuff that happens, all the terrible things that are going on in the world. Life is way too short to be focused on that. People need to be paying more attention to all the positive things that sports brings us. Sports brings us together. Sports gives us hope. Sports gives us entertainment. Start being more positive. Start looking at the bright side, the light side, all the good things about sports, all the good things about athletes, all the time, dedication. You know the hours Russell Westbrook had to put in to get to the level he's at. He's an NBA MVP. He's been first team All NBA. He's led the league in scoring. He's been to the finals. He's been to conference. Like he's a Hall of Fame player, and you want to call him Westbrook because he shot 42% from the field this year. Oh, I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick and tired of it. Like Draymond was saying all throughout that video, it's just I'm sick and tired of seeing these guys get these platforms and talk about these players like that. I wish Russell Westbrook the best. I wish his family the best. I know that he is an NBA player who had a tough season by his standards. He shot the ball poorly, but also keep in mind, this is his, fourth team in 4 years? Okay. I mean, so he's had to change, teammates, change coaches. People don't look at that. People are just like, okay, throw him out, roll the ball out, perform for us. Give us that triple-double level of, that triple-double average player that we're so used to seeing. Also keep in mind, the man is 32, 33 years old? Like, he's getting older. Like, with age comes regression in every form. So it's like what? I don't get it. Anyways, thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, please take some time to support the channel, support the podcast. In the meantime, I thank you again for checking this out. I'll be back with more content soon. I just want everyone to take some time today to focus on the positive, stay positive, remain uplifted. Think about all the good things that you have going on in your life. I know life can get hard. I know people can be negative. Skip Bayless. I know that people, can focus on that type of stuff, but really take the time to really see how blessed you are. Really, really understand how blessed and privileged you are to live this life, to live in this country, to do these things. Because, that's something I don't do as much as I should. And that's something I need to do more of. So y'all hold me accountable. I'll hold you guys accountable. Thank you all again for watching. And this has been the Echols Unlimited podcast with your host, Terrence Echols. Peace.
I'm not beefing with nobody. Like, I'm past that. I can't let nobody disturb my peace. I'm going to sleep every single night with the AC on 60 and the fan blowing in my face. You know what I mean?
I ain't no bitch.